This is Dead Serious, a show about short horror stories worthy of discussion. I'm Dead Pallid, owner and CEO of VelmaFan.net. Today we're going to be taking a look at Scooby-Doo Lost Episode here on the GeoShia Creepypasta Wikia, a thing that I have still yet to crack. I think these are genuine stories. It's about the quality I would expect from the Creepypasta Wikia, if they still allowed lost episode type stories. So, yeah, let's get right into this Scooby-Doo Lost Episode. Okay, so I haven't talked about this in a very long time. This happened to me when I was 10 or 11. Alright, first paragraph, very short and to the point, kind of getting us invested in who this person is. They're talking to us like a person would talk to us. So this is probably going to be a very conversational story. My dad had bought us a Scooby-Doo VHS tape of an episode which I can't fully recall. All I can remember is that it was about a little girl's ghost haunting a whole town. Our parents didn't go out very much since my brother suffers from asthma, and they were very protective of him. But one night, they had a very important party thing and decided to call a babysitter. Alright, so this second paragraph is already giving us quite a bit of grounding information, background information about, little brother having asthma, so the parents are overprotective. They spend a lot of time together, very intimate family, bought them a Scooby-Doo VHS tape, and one night, important, dinner party to go to. That's, a lot of really good grounding information, very relatable to a lot of people. A lot of helicopter parents are out there, so this is all working for me. I remember getting upset and telling them that I was old enough to take care of my brother, but they didn't listen. They left us with this freckly 15-year-old neighbor girl called Amanda or something. Before leaving, Dad gave us the tape, which got us pretty excited, as it would be the first time Dad let us use the VHS player. After they left, we all noticed that the tape was kind of weird. The art on the cover looked handmade somehow. Scooby looked really terrified, and the ghost girl was really creepy. So in a lot of ways, this is a very paint-by-numbers lost episode kind of deal. However, it's being done pretty well, pretty straightforward, very plain language, which usually works in the favor of a lost episode kind of story. The whole Amanda or something thing is kind of funny. Freckly 15-year-old girl, I can picture that perfectly in my head. They're upset, but then the parents clearly have a plan here of we'll give them the VHS tape of Scooby-Doo and tell them this is the first time they can use the VHS player. And so that's a little bit of handing over responsibility to the kids when they want more responsibility. So that's a nice way to assuage their concerns. So all of this, very believable. This is actually feeling like something that actually happened. The whole Scooby-Doo thing, where he looks terrified and the ghost girl being creepy, that's not out of the ordinary for Scooby-Doo, but maybe to a child's mind, it's exacerbated. So it could just be dumb kids, or it could be haunted. I remember Amanda calling my dad a weirdo for buying such a thing for us, but I assumed he just picked up the first tape he saw. Alright, so even Amanda thinks that this is a little weird, and she's older, a little more knowledgeable about something being off. I also remember that Amanda didn't want to play the tape, but after my brother and I insisted for almost an hour, we finally sat in front of the TV to watch the thing. The episode itself was kind of boring. There were almost no jokes, and it wasn't that scary. But I do remember being surprised that the ghost from the cover didn't look at all like the one in the video. I don't really remember the plot of the episode. I guess it was pretty much the usual, and Amanda would repeat "stupid show" every 5 minutes. Well, considering it was a 20-minute show, she must have said it 4 times. The idea that the babysitter would be controlling and kind of I don't want to do this. That's believable, jaded 15-year-old that knows everything. But the idea that this is an important memory, but they don't remember very much about the show itself. I mean, certainly you're going to forget stuff, and the idea of, like, just forgetting the plot outright, but there's probably going to be something vivid that they remember, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be telling us this story. So finding that balance, kind of important. Maybe we'll strike it later on, but so far, feeling iffy for me. Close to the end, when they got to the ghost and were about to unmask her, something weird happened. All of the Scooby-Doo gang, they're caught. I was about to get outraged for them not remembering that they're called the Mystery Machine, but that's the name of the van. Never mind. My joke doesn't work. The Scooby-Doo gang stopped talking and looked at the camera with a really sad and serious look on their face. They stared at us for a very long time in silence. Even the background music had stopped. Oh man, those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons where they just, stop animating stuff. This is sounding very believable, really. They were not a huge fan of animating their shows. So, nothing out of the ordinary here. They just, ran out of animation budget. The only person not looking at us was the ghost girl, but she suddenly lifted her head and stared at the camera with her terrible eyes wide open. The final credits came abruptly after that. We all stared at the TV without saying a word until the tape finally stopped. We were shocked. Alright, I want people to picture what this would be in practicality. You have the Scooby-Doo gang looking at the screen. There's the ghost girl, and we don't know what the ghost girl actually looks like. We just know that she's a girl and she's a ghost. Not any description past that. She then looks at the screen as well, with her eyes wide open, and there's something terrible about her eyes. Something scary about them. What it is necessarily, we don't really know. There's not a whole lot of flavorful information there. And then there's no sound, and then Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Like, really happy, upbeat music, and then the credits playing, and the credits have, like, animation and stuff. That is like a weird tonal shift. Really think about that. If that's what they're describing, or are they saying the credits came up and the credits were different than normal? Maybe just like a credits roll across the ghosts in the gang's face? I'm not clear on that. Either way, it's a really funny idea, not really a scary one, that there's just this weird tonal shift. Alright. My brother looked at us and said something like, "Shit, I can't believe Shaggy died. This is so fucked up." What? We both looked at him, confused, and Amanda asked what he was talking about. He insisted that it was stupid to kill a character and then bring them back to life the next episode. She got really nervous and told him Shaggy didn't get killed, that the ghost girl disappeared right after they caught her, and the episode finished with the whole gang scared to death. Nothing made any sense. I couldn't understand a thing. Okay, so little brother is seeing information that the rest of that big brother, our narrator, and Amanda aren't seeing. It's also kind of weird that we don't know our brother's name by now. Just something to consider. But the idea that they're killing off Shaggy is kind of weird. At this point, if you watch Scooby-Doo, you gotta ask, is this an old Scooby-Doo thing or one of the newer ones where the ghosts are real? What's the deal there? Because it seems like they're trying to say that this ghost is a real ghost, which they certainly have done. I don't know how familiar people are with Scooby-Doo chronology in alternate dimensions, but I think we should press on from there because I'm a little confused. Probably because we're just not getting enough detail. Not necessarily that something is going wrong, just not enough detail. When I told them what I saw, Amanda freaked out. She said at least 10 times that there wasn't anything funny and left our house pissed off and, I assume, scared to her bones like we were. So she just left? Oof. They better not pay this babysitter. Fuck her. After discussing for at least half an hour, we decided to put the tape in and watch it again. We turned all the lights on and pushed rewind. The thing is, we got to the part when they get the girl, the episode suddenly ends. Nothing happens. The girl, they get the girl, and there is no unmasking, no killing, and no staring. It just ends there. We stopped the tape and ran into our room. my brother had an asthma attack, and I stayed by his bed crying and praying he wouldn't die. Eventually, we fell asleep. Wouldn't you call your parents? Like, hey, our babysitter left, and also there's something fucked up about the VHS you bought us, Dad. Also, the little brother, speaking that way. I don't know, I was a very foul-mouthed child, so maybe that's not too weird, but I don't know. The next morning, my brother started acting like nothing happened. After insisting for about 2 days, he told me he never wanted to talk about it again, and that was it. Damn, I think I actually never told anyone about this. It feels good to share it. So tonally, especially that ending there, I think the narrator has a nice tone, a nice style of writing that pulls us in. However, the events that transpired aren't believable, but they are interesting if they were justified in some way. I don't think the story is, 1, long enough to justify it, and 2, we're just dealing with a haunted tape of Scooby-Doo. This story isn't attempting to do what I thought it might try and do and make Scooby-Doo something already related to horror and try and make it more horrific. They didn't really play up anything that is already scary in the show. Instead, they went a new direction and were like, Shaggy died, and then they did the whole Candle Cove, they stared at the screen thing. And so, competently thought out, not executed to the best of what could possibly be here. Yeah, I'm actually kind of, I want to make this clear, it's not good. It's not good, but I'm surprised at how many things about this story are competent. Not great, but competent. Bringing back the asthma at the very end of it, getting to the part where the tape is giving us different realities. The parts that are not believable, though, are just too numerous. The idea that there's a haunted tape to begin with, right? Not a tape that is, some twisted fantasy of someone on the Scooby-Doo, team, and they edited this or put it out or whatever the fuck, talked about this endlessly. But then also the stuff about the, babysitter leaving, the brother getting an asthma attack, and then them not calling the parents or 911. Those are, if you have a little brother who has asthma, you're trained, your parents are going to train you to be like, all right, if he has asthma attack, call us, call 911. They would establish this stuff. But overall, this was an enjoyable read. There are parts of this that I like unironically. And I think that there might actually be a way with extensive rewrites to, quote unquote, salvage this story. Now, if you enjoyed that, consider helping out the community and supporting my channel. You can support the community by conversing in the comments below and going to toospooky.com. That's TOO spooky.com for more original horror stories. While you're at it, try your hand at short horror yourself. You can support me by liking this video and following me on Twitter and Tumblr, links down in the description. Thank you so much for your time, and now on to our sponsor at this non-moment in time, which is Malt Shop. Hey gang, let's meet at the Malt Shop.